Wisdom Wednesday. Here we go with part 2 about practice, right? If you recall, last week we talked a little bit about how we like to do this at the beginning of every class, have a bit of a mat chat, and basically try to get everybody's mind straight towards the topic of the month. And this month's topic just happens to be about practice. So last week we gave it a bit of a definition, said practice is a repeated performance or exercise for the purpose of acquiring skill or proficiency, right? And there's a quote by Malcolm Gladwell that was really good. It said, practice isn't the thing that you do once you're good, it's the thing that you do that makes you good, right? Going into week 2, a little lengthy here, but I think it's very, very powerful, right? Practice isn't just about repeating an action, right? But building a foundation. So that changes our mental scope on a lot of things, right? So a lot of times I think we are looking at trying to be busy, and that supposedly feels good, but I don't know if that's really the case, right? I think it's nice to be productive, right? To actually be finishing something always feels better than to just be kind of tagging along and checking boxes off per se and not really getting anywhere, which is huge, right? So again, practice isn't about repeating an action, but building a foundation. And it says, like planting a seed, you're watering that seed each time that you practice a technique. Over time, it will grow into a strong tree. Similarly, practicing good habits, kindness, or patience lays the groundwork for a strong character. Now remember, what are we talking about here? We're talking about character development, okay? So that's a huge thing. It's talking about you every time you practice and watering that seed, right? And then being able to grow that tree, which essentially the tree is us, right? It's you, it's me, okay? We're getting better with practice, right? But not just a repetitive action, right? And we'll get into that some next week too, which is good, okay? Quote for this week, Aristotle. I think I've never heard this quote before, which was awesome. So, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. A habit, get that, right? Okay? I'll go just a step further on that because that quote is so awesome, right? James Clear, book called Atomic Habits, right? Very, very amazing book, right? And one thing he talks about is creating the habits by habit stacking, right? So I look at it as like almost like you've got books on a shelf, and what you need is you need a bookend here and a bookend here to hold the books upright, right? And so what I'm going to do then is organize my practice, let's say, in my schedule so that way it fits and nothing else gets in the way. So what are some ways that we can do that? Well, we know for sure that if, usually if we don't bring our workout gear with us after work and we go home to get our workout gear, the chance of us making the workout in class is like, eek, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So an old standard was simple. Always bring all your training gear and your workout stuff with you in your car. You get done with work. Even if you get done early with work, don't go home. Don't go home. Don't do it. We all do it. We go home. Either we get comfortable or we start snacking on something, or we get tired, or we turn on the TV for a while. We say, well, let me take a nap, and then you don't wake up in time, right? Or you just get busy doing laundry and some other stuff, and you don't make it to class, right? Okay, so put your stuff in your car, be ready to rock and roll, which is awesome. Okay, now I have a new version of that because, of course, times have changed, right? A lot of people are working at home, right? Pluses and minuses to that all around, okay? And one of the minuses is very, very simple. You're comfortable, you're at home. Does that make sense, okay? Why leave, Maybe you'll grab a couple reps in the garage, maybe not, right? But typically you go to a place where, everybody knows your name. I'm dating myself on that one, I know. But realistically, you go to a place because you have that community concept, right? You have accountability partners, you have training partners, you have training friends, right? You have a training family. Does that make sense? So, which is absolutely huge, okay? So make it a goal to turn stuff off, to turn off the work at home by a certain time and have all your stuff ready that morning. Don't go to the extent of going, okay, well, I'll get my stuff together after I get done with work, right? Because things get in the way, okay? Pack the bag, set the bag right up on the counter so you can see it all day long while you're working, while you grab your snack, while you grab your lunch, whatever it is, right? Okay, grab another glass of water, boom, there's the workout bag going, take me to class. The bag is saying, take me to class, okay? So organize that a little bit if you are working from home, which is good, and then that'll help you get involved and make sure that things happen, okay? Second issue that people run into when it comes to practice is huge, and that is the fact that knock, knock, knock. People start knocking on your door from the moment the day starts until you put your head down on your pillow, right? Especially if you're a family person, right? Okay, and you've got kids or you're taking care of people, it's a big deal, right? Your needs and wants are usually about second or third place in line if they're structured that way, right? Okay, but how do you take control of that, right? Being the caregiver, taking care of people, being the family person, how do you take control of that entire scenario, right? Well, you get up earlier, right? It's that simple. You just have to get up earlier. You get up earlier, right? And then you get involved with yourself. You pay yourself. Yourself is knocking for you to go do this, right? So you get up early, you get it on, you get your workout and you get your training in, and then guess what? You're good to go. You've practiced for the day, right? So try that out, and we'll see you back here next week for the third installment of practice.